Good morning. So let's start with the class. We are going to start with the next class of our company's accounting, which we have already started. In our previous two lectures, we have covered buyback of securities. So today we are going to start with the financial statement of companies. Before that, I would like to know, is there any problem in your previous chapter? First, if you have any problem in the previous chapter, good morning. Yes, yes, yes. All thanks working with workings. Very good. Very good. Page number 12.7, last para on amendment. What is amendment? Okay. What the chapter number? This is financial statement of companies, chapter number 11, beta. So query is by with the page number 12.7. Interested to ask about a point. Let's discuss with that. I think you people have already covered buyback of securities, beta. हो गया सभी का? Buyback of security में कोई दिक्कत हो तो बताओ. Yes. Amendment. Okay. Last para on amendment. Okay. These are simple points which you have to keep it into your mind while doing this chapter. He says now the latest provisions are to be kept into mind that the company no offer of buyback for 15% or more of the paid up capital and free reserves of the company shall be made from the open market. So this is simple that we have to go for maximum fixed 15% of the paid up capital and free reserves. It shall not make any offer of buyback within a period of this already have been discussed, beta. Already all that has been discussed. Make any offer of buyback within a period of 1 year reckoned from the date of closure of the preceding offer. The company shall ensure that at least 50% of the amount earmarked for buyback is utilized for buying back shares or other securities. So these are in excess of the power conferred under Section 30 of the SEBI. SEBI made amendment to amend the securities, and so this is basically new regulations which you have to keep it into your mind. And these points are somehow important for us from practical point of view also, but yet now there is no such question on it. Yet now we have not any practical question added in the module or anywhere. Earlier points are already discussed, so this is a point which has been amended. So you may have to keep it into your mind that this may also come into the exam on multiple choice question basis. So as per SEBI guidelines है ये. सो यू मस्ट टू कीप इट इन माइंड कि सेबी अपने हिसाब से काम करता है और जो हमारा कंपनीज एक्ट है उसमें थोड़ा डिफरेंट चलता है. तो अर्लियर वट एवर वी हैव डिस्कस दैट इज एज पर कंपनीज एक्ट. So this is the guidelines made by the SEBI, and according to SEBI, these are the three important point, out of which one point is common, and that point is that company is not allowed to make any buyback more within the 1 year from the last buyback. So that is same, and 25% is replaced by 15%. This is a second point, and the third point is at least 50% must be from the fresh issue. So CRR can be maximum 50%. So that has been cleared. At least 50% of the amount earmarked for buyback is utilized for buying back shares or other securities. The company shall assure that at least 50% of the amount earmarked for buyback is utilized for buying back shares or So this is simple that this is not technical. This is regarding company shall ensure at least 50% of the amount earmarked for buyback is utilized for buying. This is not CRR or a fresh issue. This is simple that whenever any amount is arranged, then 50% of that amount must be used for buying back shares or other specified securities. So it's a just theoretical part. It is not from practical point of view. You may have to just read it and keep it into your mind. Okay, beta? So due to some problem, I was unable to attend past two. So you may do one thing. Yeah, you may start this. There's no problem. This doesn't have any link with the previous chapter. Those who are new today, don't worry. Today's lecture is completely different from the previous one. Not too much bigger relation with the buyback of shares, or even I may say there's no relation because if you know about the companies, then there's no problem at all. You should have the knowledge of companies, share capital or like that. That is required. What is the weightage of this chapter? Everyone knows that the financial statement is the most important chapter from examination point of view, and we may get a big question from this. It will give some. It will contribute in your MCQs as well as in the big questions both because there is a 100% chance that we may get either one question either from this financial statements or from the cash flow statement. So both are equally important. So this note explain in Hindi. बेटा हिंदी में तो वही जिस उसने सिंपल सी तीन बातें कही हैं वो आपको याद रखनी पड़ेंगी जो उसने बताई हुई हैं. बस वो थ्योरेटिकली अगर कोई आगे की सेबी की गाइडलाइंस के हिसाब से अगर कोई चेंजेस आई हैं उसमें लिखा हुआ है 15% जो है वो आप लोगों को शेयर कैपिटल प्लस फ्री रिजर्व का है जो है वो यूटिलाइज करना है जो कि वहाँ 25% था पीछे जो हमने कंडीशन करी है. 1 ईयर का गैप होना चाहिए दो बायबैक में. और तीसरा पॉइंट था कि जो हमारी अमाउंट हम लोग उसके लिए मार्कअप करते हैं अलग रखते हैं उसमें से 50% को जरूर यूज करना है बायबैक के लिए. सो दीज आर सम थ्योरेटिकल पॉइंट्स विच यू हैव टू कीप. व्हाट आर आइटम्स? सर माय क्वेरी पेज नंबर 12.16 वी फिफ्थ पॉइंट. ओके. One query is from Divya also, 12.16 fifth point. 12.16 fifth point, Divya. I don't get it. Fifth entry is there. Page number 12.16, fifth point. 12.16 page is there, and fifth point is just simple revenue reserve to CRR. So that has been created. Is this is your query? How many marks allotted for this chapter? Obviously, 10 to 20 marks question will be from this chapter. AS3 cash flow statement is covered. Is this chapter not? No, no. AS3 is theoretical. We will do everything in a practical way in cash flow statement. Na? Can we use more than one free reserve to create CRR? Any number of free reserves can be used. There's no problem. All free reserves can be used. There's no problem. What are items should be included in loan fund if question is not given directly loan funds? What are items should be included in loan funds? In loan funds that we will cover in this chapter, beta. It will be better. 12.16 is not clear, beta. Divya, fifth point. Okay, revenue reserve to CRR. So for this, you have to see this question. In this question number 3, okay, but it says the company passed a resolution for 20% of its equity capital for the buyback. Okay, so our equity capital is 2,50,000 equity shares. Okay, so 2,50,000 into 20%. So this is 50,000 into 10. So we need five, or you may say it is in lakhs or thousands. I doesn't know. You may see accordingly. It's 5 lakh, whatever is required to us. Okay. Out of that, We have already done this preference share, which has been issued by us. This is 2 lakh fresh issue. So we have to take face value of fresh issue. Okay. So balance 3 lakh will be from revenue reserves to be utilized for creating CRR. So that we have created in fifth entry, revenue reserves to CRR beta. This is also utilized, na Divya? Yesterday we have also discussed that preference shares which have already been issued for buyback. The motive is very much clear. Okay. Now clear, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome, beta. Welcome. Now, I think I should have to close this chapter now because this is clear to everyone. I've also proposed you to do questions from your suggested answers, and one more option I have given to you, that is your RTPs, previous year question banks. Those are given to you. तो उसमें से क्वेश्चन जरूर करने चाहिए. You must do questions from there. But otherwise, you are not able to get good marks in the exam if you will go for the limited questions of ICAI module only. Let it be very much clear. Module gives only limited questions. Yes, you may get idea, you may get some questions from module also, but to cover the complete paper and also to do more and more expert in solving question, you have to do more and more questions. It is not practically feasible for us to cover 20 questions or 30 questions of each and every chapter, but you people can do it at your own. Do more and more practice. Yeah, you may bring any doubt. If it is, I may help you. If I have a time, I will help you. There's no worry. कुछ टाइमिंग इश्यूज रहते हैं, but I would like to cover that. So coming for the next chapter, financial statement of companies. Very good chapter. A bit notes are not required for financial statements from theoretical point of view. Let it be very much clear. What we will do, we will cover the important points while discussing about this chapter. I will tell you the important points of this chapter. You can do one thing. You may note it down. You may mark up that those lines. You should have the highlighter with you. You may highlight those points whatever we will discuss, because this is an important chapter. We have to cover many points in theoretical way also. So I suggest you to have a highlight or a pen or pencil with you to underline those points in your module, whatever you feel important, whatever I will tell you also. So we are discussing about companies. So you people must know what is company, because I'm not going to discuss that. You have to do a important thing, that we have to cover 4 important points in this chapter that is given here. I have already highlighted it for you. Whatever is red, that is highlighted. Let it be very much clear. Whatever is red, that is highlighted. You may also do at your own in your module. So first of all, we have to cover how to prepare books of accounts of a company. That is very important. Second, we have to cover what are the statutory books to be prepared for a company, that is given by the law. Third is we have to go by the schedule third of the Companies Act, which is giving us the provisions for preparation and presentation of financial statements. And the last but not the least, we have to appreciate the term divisible profit and dividend. So in this chapter, I would like to tell you, you must have to keep it yourself with this word: presentation, 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 because this chapter is very well known for its presentation. You have to memorize the performance, you have to memorize the provisions, and those provisions are to be kept into mind how to present the financial statement. Because financial statements are already done by you in your CA foundation or in your +1 or in your BCom. You know it how to prepare financial statement of a normal businessman. So basic points are same. You need not to worry. Many basic points are same, but there are some presentation points which are to be kept into mind while preparing this. Also, for this purpose, you should have the knowledge of accounting standards, because accounting standards also have impact on your accounting and financial statements. Plus, you should have the knowledge of the Schedule third of Companies Act. So where it is, this is given in annexure. In your annexure, if you will see the, because I have the soft copy with me, which I have downloaded from your ICAI website, in that annexure is also given in this chapter. There are three topics in this chapter in financial statement. One is the financial statement, second is cash flow statement, and third is the annexures. So in annexures, we have scheduled three provisions. We will discuss those. You need not to worry. Let's start. There are some important points which you have to keep it into your mind. One is you should have the knowledge of different types of companies. This you have to do at your own. This is given in your book. You have to just read it out. If there is any doubt, I'll discuss it with tomorrow. There's no worry. Maintenance of books of accounts. This is also very simple. We will uh, financial statement that I will cover for you in a practical way. Distributable profit, very important point. We will cover in detail, in depth. Requisites of financial statement. Again, this is important. So some part which is theoretical part will be covered by you. Some part which have a practical touch will be covered by me for you. Obviously, finally you have to do yourself. But starting, I'll help you. I'll guide you. Okay. Declaration and payment of dividend also very important. Transfer to reserve very important. So these points are to be kept into mind that in this chapter we'll have to give stress on. We have to give stress on preparation of financial statements. What are the requisites in that? How profit is distributed in that? Declaration and payment of dividend and transfer to reserves. So these points are to be kept into mind. Very simple and easy to understand. Need not to worry. सो कंपनीज का तो सबको पता है कंपनी क्या होती है जस्ट सिंपल इट मींस अ कंपनी विच हैज बीन इनकॉर्पोरेटेड अंडर कंपनीज एक्ट 2013 or under any previous company law. So different type of companies have been defined under Companies Act 2013. Those are given here. Meaning is very simple and very understandable given in the module. You may study that. Yeah. I would like to discuss with you one important company, which is now a time very important. This is small and medium sized companies. So small and medium sized company is a today's important thing. What meant for the SME? Because in practical life, SME word is very important. Small and medium sized companies. So these means a company whose equity or debt are not listed or not listed in the or not in the process of listing on any stock exchange in India or anywhere else. So this must not be listed in any stock exchange. It's not a bank. Okay. Then talking about the turnover. Turnover very simple. Whose turnover doesn't exceed 250 crores in the immediately preceding year. So accounting year is everyone known to you. That accounting year is meant for April to March. So in previous accounting year, their turnover. What is turnover? This is also a simple meaning which is known to everyone. I assumes we are calling not it as sale. It is sale include many other things. So overall, whatever the turnover is, it must be 250 crores or less. 250 crore or less. Also, which doesn't have borrowings in excess of 50 crores at any time during the immediate preceding account. Any time. Any time means even if it is for one day, then it will be excluded from the definition. These all conditions must be satisfied, beta. Whatever conditions we are studying, these are not optional. Either one or two nahi hai. Sari conditions have. It is not a holding or subsidiary of a company which is not a SME. If any company is a subsidiary of a big company, then it will not be assumed as SME even it satisfy all the conditions. The company, why it is discussed? Because there are many benefits given by the government to SMEs. एसएमएस को बहुत सारे बेनिफिट गवर्नमेंट दे रही है, तो गवर्नमेंट ने इसीलिए जो एसएमई कंपनीज हैं उनकी कैटेगरी को डिफाइन कर दिया है, तो ये बेनिफिट बड़ी कंपनीज को ना जाए, तो इसीलिए इसको ऐसे किया जा रहा है बेटा. One thing is very important, I have not underlined it, but even then you must have to keep it into your mind that our financial statements must give a true and fair view of the state of affairs. State of affairs means whatever business we are doing, its presentation must be such that it gives a true and fair view. True means बिल्कुल सच्चा, 100% accurate. Fair means without any bias. There must not be any bias. That we have already studied in accounting standard at various places. If you people have done accounting standards, then this has already been covered by you. So this is also an important point that books of accounts and other books paper maintained by the company must be kept at the registered office of the company. So practical point of view, it is important. In future, whenever you will go for a job, you must have to keep it into your mind that books of accounts must be at registered office, India, and it may be inspected by any director. Books of accounts of every company of not less than 8 financial years immediately preceding the financial year, the year in which we are working, उससे पिछले 8 years उसकी books हमारे पास available होनी चाहिए in all the preceding year together with the voucher related to that. Means complete books of accounts. What is complete books of account? You people doesn't know. Anyone may explain what meant for the complete books of accounts? Send me fast. बेटा क्या होता है complete books of accounts में, क्या क्या आता है? What is covered in books of accounts? Fast. SME, SMSC. Yeah, there is a difference. We are discussing about small and medium sized company. SMEs. Yeah, okay. Word का देख लेते हैं बेटा. SMCs we are calling it. Yeah, this is a define. This is the way how we are defining it. So SMSC also may have same meaning. नाउ शॉर्ट फॉर्म्स तो बेटा बहुत सारी होती हैं, अब मैं हर शॉर्ट फॉर्म का मीनिंग तो नहीं बता पाऊंगा. ये पता नहीं किसने बनाई है आपकी एसएमएससी, अब यहाँ पर तो एसएमसी दी हुई है. एक्सप्लेन, एक्सप्लेन अगेन सर. आई एम टेलिंग यू वन थिंग बेटा कि जो कंपनीज हैं उनको अपनी सारी बुक्स अपने रजिस्टर्ड ऑफिस पे रखनी जरूरी है, और वो भी 8 years की बुक्स, वो भी कंप्लीट डॉक्यूमेंटेशन के साथ. तो क्या क्या डॉक्यूमेंटेशन के साथ होता है जरा डिटेल में बताओगे आप लोग, मुझे लिख के भेजोगे क्या क्या होता है उसमें, क्योंकि आप फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स कर रहे हो तो आपको पता होना चाहिए फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट में क्या क्या आता है. फास्ट. सेंड मी व्हाट विल बी कवर्ड इन फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स. मतलब क्या क्या होता है हमारे पूरे अकाउंट्स. नो, प्रॉफिट लॉस एंड बैलेंस शीट, दीज आर द सुमराइज्ड presentation of our business. From this we can't inspect everything. We are calling books of accounts. What meant for books of accounts beta? Industries and sector, SME, small scale and medium size. Sir, SME these days listed in equity market. No, in that case, if any SME is registered, small and medium enterprise is registered there, then they are not allowed to cover under, to be covered under this category, and they will not get benefit from the government. That's simple, as simple as that. Cash book, ledger, trial balance. No, no. Books of accounts include writing deeds, documents, deed minutes. नहीं, गलत है. जनरल लेजर, बैलेंस शीट, प्रॉफिट लॉस गलत है. जनरल लेजर गलत है. कंप्लीट बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट्स इंक्लूड जनरल गलत है. फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट, शेयर कैपिटल, रिजर्व कैपिटल गलत है. सबका गलत है, सारे गलत हैं. आप लोगों को अकाउंट्स नहीं आता, आई वुड लाइक टू टेल यू वेरी क्लियरली. आप लोग जो अकाउंट्स पढ़ रहे हो ना वो थ्योरी है। जब हम प्रैक्टिकली काम करने जाते हैं, जैसे ही आप ट्रेनिंग में जाओगे, यू विल बी सरप्राइज, आपको कुछ भी नहीं आता होगा। जो हमारे प्रैक्टिकल वर्किंग है वो तो बिल्कुल डिफरेंट है। You people doesn't know how to do it practically. Due to that reason, you doesn't have any knowledge of that. I would like to give you a brief idea of all that. First of all, every transaction is there. It have a proof that is called source document. Okay. Then we have books of accounts. It vary from business to business. Start from purchase book, sale book, cash book, journal book, and many other. Goes for ledger, inventory books, like that, and goes for trial balance, goes for balance sheet, profit loss account, and balance sheet. Okay. Annexures or notes to accounts, whatever it is, and even some other additions, audit report. Note it down. This is very important from you from practical point for you from practical point of view. तो ये सारा कुछ होता है. I'm not going to discuss in detail because the problem is this is not covered in your syllabus this time. But I have just given you a brief idea. Due to that reason, day book is not a part of your this source document. Day book is not a book which is used for, which is kept for the purpose of showing to public. You people doesn't know because the way you are presenting, this is not a way. No sir, I could see IPOs are hitting market with SME tag only. There, that may be there better, but in according to Companies Act, it is not allowed. Okay, in Companies Act, it is very well clear that SMC must not have been listed in any stock exchange in all over the world. So let's start once again. I think you people have noted it down. I have already mentioned you. Na? So these are the statutory books which are to be kept by you as per the guidelines of the Companies Act. These are given to you on page number 11.9 also. But this is the one way we need. Means जो मैंने source document कहा, the source document word which I have used, that is too much. That is a big thing. So also we have to file annual returns. Every company should prepare a annual return in the form prescribed by Companies Act, signed by the director and the company secretary. So this is to be kept into mind that this return must be filed within the registrar with the registrar within 60 days from the day on which each of the annual AGM. You know it very well that AGM is held every year. So when AGM is held, we have to file annual return within 60 days. So this is a return which is to be filed to company law board CLB. So when we are talking about financial statements, as per our Companies Act, in financial statements, we need only balance sheet, profit or loss account, cash flow statement. In that, cash flow statement is also not required when it is a small company. In case of one person company, small company, dormant company, or a private company, cash flow statement is not required. Okay. Now you may note it down. Whatever transaction we are doing, we need its proof by way of source document, which include many things: bills, vouchers, check counterfoils, check slips, sorry, bank slip books, deposit slips, then many other records are there. It is a big word which is to be covered by you. Okay, then books of accounts, purchase book, sale book, cash book, journal book, ledger. Journal book may or may not be required if every transaction is covered in purchase book, sale book, cash book, then journal book is not required. But this is to be done practically, beta. When you will prepare accounts of one or two companies practically, only then you will be able to do that. Then you will understand this in a practical way. And you may better study, beta, all the companies. There's no worry. Regarding all companies, details are given above. You may study that and you may ask any query if there is any tomorrow. Okay. I'm not going to cover the types of companies. The problem is we have a limited time and some points can be easily covered by you people. So I have left that for you. Now we have to come to annexures. Okay. Come to annexures. Because before starting companies, practical questions, you should have to understand annexures also. Because theory is too much. If you see, there are 13 pages of theory till now which we have covered. अभी और भी है. So 13 pages of theory is required to be covered. In that, he has already mentioned you very clearly that before doing this chapter, you must have to keep it into your mind that you should have the knowledge of Schedule 3 of the Companies Act, which we are going to do in annexures. Okay. Statutory requirements, accounting standard notified by MCA AS1 to AS29. That is already done by you people. So that is the knowledge which is required to you. In addition to that, guidance notes, statements are necessary for understanding accounting treatment are also required to be done by you. So काफी कुछ है जो आपको आना चाहिए इससे को करने से पहले. Let's discuss about the annexures. Many important points are already underlined by you, which are from practical point of view. Otherwise, remaining is to some extent theory which I have left for your side that you may study that and come to me with tomorrow. Now, Schedule 3 to the Companies Act. In that also, I'll cover those points which are from practical point of view very important. We are rounding off to lakhs, crores. See, that is given in your Companies Act. Depending upon the total income of the company, we can round off the figures. We can round off the total income. If it is less than 1 crore rupees, then we can round off to the nearest 100,000 or lakhs or millions or decimal thereof. Okay. And if it is 100 crore or more, then we can go for the lakhs, millions or crores or decimal thereof. Means rounding off is allowed. Okay. So this is the pro forma given to you in balance sheet. Page number bit. This is an actual a separate chapter in your book in under the head financial statements. If you will see chapter financial statements, first unit is in chapter number 11. It is third unit. Okay. See here it is. It is the part of it is 11.138 page beta. 11.138 page. Okay. वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट बड़ा अच्छा टॉपिक है ध्यान से समझना है फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल व्हाट इज द परफॉर्मा ऑफ बैलेंस शीट लेट्स अंडरस्टैंड दिस वेरी सिंपल परफॉर्मा ऑफ बैलेंस शीट इज गिवन टू अस ध्यान से देखना है everyone have the knowledge of this just review it once equity and liability so this is given in front of you you will have to study the performa of balance sheet and ask me the queries आपकी ड्यूटी है इसमें परफॉर्मे में कोई भी दिक्कत है तो मेरे से पूछ सकते हो just read the performa of share capital of the balance sheet and then ask if there is any query fast हो जो शुरू Do it fast, beta. Yes. Do it fast, beta. Study and then ask me if there is any query. When you will study it, it will be automatically memorized to you. याद हो जाएगा. और एक बार याद हो गया ना तो फिर you will not forget it later on. Because while doing the question, we need it in the sequence. So must study the sequence, beta. Sequence जरूर study करना है. Deferred tax means the deferred tax. It's a good point. Okay. A student have asked about the word deferred tax. I think you have not done accounting standards, beta. I would like to tell you in a simple word कि देखो, I would like to tell you simple meaning of deferred tax, but actual meaning you can get from the AS only. There's a special AS on taxation. In that you can easily study the proper working of deferred tax. This is just a difference in the taxation which is to be carried forward. It may be deferred tax liability or deferred tax asset, but this is to be covered in detail, and I think you people have already done in the AS. Better study that AS, beta. There is a proper AS. Do you know the number? What is the number of that AS? Fast. क्या number है उसका? Which AS is this one? What is money received? Money received against share warrants. Share warrants is just like shares. It's just a way of presentation. So not too much different. Share warrant is just like shares which we are issuing. What is it is a part of share capital. Wherever it is, you may see that it is a part of share capital. I would like to see that also. Money received against warrants. So this has been shown under the head share capital and reserve and surplus. So this is just simple, just like shares. These are issued. This is a way of issuing the shares. One way of issuing the share. Okay. What is capital work in progress? Okay. Very good. So this is good, na? You people are asking and I am giving the answer. That is very good. Capital work in progress means we have given our asset. We have given a contract to someone to manufacture an asset for us, to make an asset for us. Like I have paid rupees 5 lakh to a person for making a, you may say for construction of a building even. So this is building under construction. Okay. Or we have given rupees 5 lakh in advance to someone for the purpose of, you may say, plant and machinery. He is a he is designing a plant and machinery specifically for us according to our requirements. So that is capital. Any asset under construction is capital work in progress. Okay. सर मनी रिसीव्ड ये तो हो गया है ना। सर मनी रिसीव्ड अगेंस्ट शेयर वारंट हमेशा मेंशन करनी है की जरूरत है। नो नो, दीज आउट ऑफ दीज few are important, or you may say just serial should be kept in mind. Many things may be omitted, but few things are compulsory. I would like to tell you which are compulsory. Those you have to write even if there is no amount for that. Point number four, capital, AB point, and deferred tax. Deferred tax already I have mentioned you. Point number four, capital, AB point. Okay. Point number four. This is current liabilities, short-term borrowings, and trade receivables. Short-term borrowings are the current liabilities, short-term liabilities, but the liabilities which are to be covered within 12 months, we will discuss in detail also. Uh, we have kept creditors and other liabilities separately. Current liabilities is divided into two parts. Trade payables are those which are creditors, and short-term borrowings are those which are not our creditors, which are not our business creditors, जो हमारे होते हैं ना, जैसे ट्रेड क्रेडिटर्स जिसको हम गुड्स बेचते हैं, those to whom we are purchase from those from whom we are purchasing goods are called trade creditors. तो वो तो ट्रेड पेबल्स में चले गए, दे विल बी कवर्ड अंडर ट्रेड पेबल्स. रिमेनिंग करंट लाइबिलिटीज विल बी कवर्ड अंडर द हेड शॉर्ट टर्म बोरिंग्स. ओके, done, sir. No doubt. Share application money pending allotment. Share application money pending allotment. This you have done in share capital chapter in your CA foundation or in your BCom or plus two also. That when shares are issued, then share application money received to us. So there is a period when application money is received and allotment is to be done. During that period, this will not be become part of your share capital. Instead, it will be treated as, or it will be named as share application money pending allotment. Okay. During that period, what amount will included in intangible assets under development? This is simple. We are basically if there is a AS on it. Do you remember the AS? Research and development पे भी एक AS है. In that AS we have discussed that if some intangible asset is under the development stage, then it have a value. So that is shown here. That is we have already made a research and intangible asset is ready, or any expenses incurred for the purpose of intangible asset, and that amount that intangible asset is under the development stage. So due to that reason, whatever expenses are incurred till date, that will be covered under this head. But the issue is that you should have to do at your own also to some extent, because if we will have to start from the share capital, then it will be a difficult task for me, because the issue is AS22 is deferred tax asset, a deferred tax note AS21. Mr. Prince, Sarji, reserve and surplus. Reserve and surplus, it's very simple. Everyone knows what means for whatever the profit we have earned till date, that is covered under reserve and surplus. It include your revenue profits as well as capital profits, both. Yes, you may do one thing. For this purpose, for details, you may go here. See, everything is given in detail here. Just read out and ask me if there is any query. Read now, general instructions for preparation of balance sheet. Your doubts will be automatically clear fast. I'm giving you 5 minutes to read it. If there is any doubt, well and good. Otherwise, you may study it from your home and we will take doubts tomorrow. Like, first of all, he has mentioned you when an asset is, it will cover many doubts. Okay. Because there are many doubts which has come from the students. So I would like to cover it by way of instructions given to you. So what is current and what is non-current asset, that has been defined here. Normally we are covering that current asset is an asset which is to be encashed within a period of 12 months. And more than 12 months, it's non-current asset. So that has been defined in detail. You may study that because it will help you to understand many things. Liability is also same. If it is a liability which will be repaid within the period of next 12 months, then it is called current liability. Otherwise, it is a non-current liability. But it have many other points to be kept into mind. So that is given here. Trade receivables, obviously, any amount receivable from the debtors to whom goods are sold is named as trade receivables, है ना? And amount payable to the creditors from whom goods have been purchased is called trade payables. Okay. Share capital is also defined in a very good way. I think there are many doubts given by the students. It will be clear once you will read all these. देखो ना, आपको मैंने इंटेंशनली ये पढ़वाया है ताकि आप लोगों को पता लगे आपके माइंड में कितने डाउट्स आते हैं। तो ये सारे डाउट्स कैसे क्लियर होंगे अगर आप ये सारा कुछ पढ़ोगे। ये देखो सब कुछ दिया हुआ है। इनको अगर हम लोग क्लियर करने लग गए तो हमारा लगभग 1 आवर लगेगा। अगर आप खुद पढ़ के आओगे मेरे पास तो हो सकता है 10 मिनट में या 5 मिनट में हम इसको कवर कर लें। आई वुड लाइक टू सजेस्ट यू दैट नाउ देयर आर डाउट्स इन योर माइंड एंड यू हैव अ टाइम टू come out of those doubts. Do one thing, study at your home and then come to me with any doubt if it is left, if it is not covered in your module. Okay, module has tried to clarify each and everything. Like, see all that. Very good points are covered. Yeah, this is important. Very important point. I have ticked some important points for you. Page number 144. Yes. In that it is given aggregate number and classes of shares allotted as fully paid up without payment being received in cash is to be shown separately. So this is to be kept into mind. This is a practical case study which comes to us in exam, that how much is the number of, how it will be presented. If any shares are issued without payment received in cash, then it is to be always mentioned with those shares that these shares are issued without payment received by us. Like bonus shares, if we have issued bonus shares, then obviously these are received without any payment of cash. Then it must be mentioned specifically in the head, under the head share capital, that this much number of bonus shares are issued by us. Aggregate number and class of the shares allotted as fully paid up by way of bonus share. Aggregate number and class of shares bought back. Even if we have bought back some shares, then that must be defined, that must be noted, that must be given in written in that particular share capital head. Also, one thing is very important: forfeited shares, calls unpaid. This is to be shown separately अंडर द हेड शेयर कैपिटल। क्यों करवा रहा हूं मैं ये आपको बता देता हूं आपको। आई वुड लाइक टू क्लैरिफाई यू व्हाई वी आर डिस्कसिंग ऑल थिंग्स। You will get this type of questions in your exam. See, this is the example number 1 given in your module in financial statement. He has asked in the financial statement, I'm just giving you an example so that you must have to understand this thing, that why I am discussing all that. In the financial statement of the financial year, Alpha Limited has mentioned in the notes to accounts that during financial year 24th on equity shares of rupees 10 issued each were issued as fully paid bonus shares. However, the source from which these bonus shares were issued has not been disclosed. From where these bonus shares are issued, that is not disclosed. Is such non-disclosure is violation of the Schedule 3rd of the Companies Act? You will get this question in your exam. How you will answer this question, beta? If you have not studied the application part of your theory, you will not be able to answer this because this is a theoretical part. Now, what is the answer of it? That is very simple, but you must have to understand this. Okay, what he's saying, he says that in notes to accounts, 24,000 fully paid bonus shares are shown, that these are issued by the company, but it is not mentioned what is the source of these bonus shares. So in that case, what you will do, you have already studied that. Yes, yes, they have only demanded that you should have to show it separately, aggregate number of shares and class of shares allotted as fully paid up. It is not mentioned that source is also required to be shown. He have just demanded that under the head share capital, you will have to show that this much number of fully paid up bonus shares are issued by us under the head share capital. That's it. He has not mentioned here that the source is also required from which these bonus shares are given. Like from where bonus shares are issued? Anyone knows? From where bonus shares are issued? बेटा बोलो, bonus shares किस में से देते हैं? Fast. What is the source of giving bonus shares? Fully paid up bonus shares देने का source क्या होता है? Fast. फटाफट आंसर दो. आपकी नॉलेज टेस्टिंग चल रही है. This is a upgradation of your knowledge. This type of AS question solving, how much time takes? It takes only 1 to 2 minutes even. It is just you have to write it, nothing else. Fast. बताओ भी. Yes, very good answer. Very good. Very good. Ritu Banerjee comes first. Prince comes second. Shagufta comes third. Suman Goyal, Pratidhya Vidhate. Manohar Ramjha, Jay Patel, Surinder. Very good. Very good. Rupesh, Rahul, Bhumika, Swati. Everyone is right to some extent. Some are 100% accurate, some have some problem, but you people have given the answer very good. Answer is very simple, that source of issuing bonus share is normally CRR or free reserves. This should be the right answer, nothing else. So CRR and free reserves can be utilized, even capital reserve can be utilized. So this is normally clear to everyone that these are allowed to be utilized, है ना? तो but it is not mentioned that you have to mention the source. So there's no worry. So the answer of this question given in your module is not a problem. So it means for solution is accurate. He says जब financial statements को बनाया गया तो अल्फा लिमिटेड ने नोट्स टू अकाउंट्स के अंदर 24,000 इक्विटी शेयर्स जो है वो इशू करे थे फुली पेड के रूप में, लेकिन उसका सोर्स नहीं बताया था. तो ये क्या वायलेशन है? ये नॉन डिस्क्लोजर जो है ये वायलेशन है कंपनीज एक्ट की? नो, इट्स नॉट वायलेशन ऑफ कंपनीज एक्ट बिकॉज ओनली बोनस शेयर्स आर टू बी शोन सेपरेटली. So the question tells us that whether it is a violation of schedule third that we have not shown the source of bonus shares. No, no, no. It is not the violation. That is the answer. So we have to describe it in a proper way that schedule third has come into force for the balance sheet and profit loss commencing on or after 1st April 2011. Okay. As per part 1 of schedule third, a company should disclose in notes to account for the period of 5 years immediately preceding the balance sheet date the aggregate number and class of shares allotted as fully paid. That's it. The point is we have to disclose it preceding the balance sheet date the aggregate number and class of shares allotted as fully paid up bonus share. Schedule third doesn't require a company. Schedule third doesn't require a company to disclose the source from which bonus shares have been issued. You have seen it in the theoretical part also, which I have shown you in annexure. This is example number 1 given in your chapter, and that is the concept which has been given. So therefore, non-disclosure of source from which bonus shares have been issued doesn't violate the schedule third of the Companies Act. That's it. So we may delete this also if we have not written that that as per part 1 of the schedule third, because number of times we doesn't remember that, then there is no problem. इससे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ने वाला कि अगर हमने पार्ट 1 नहीं लिख दिया, वैसे ही लिख दिया कि एज पर शेड्यूल थर्ड वी जस्ट हैव टू डिस्क्लोज दैट दिस मच नंबर ऑफ bonus shares are issued by the company during the preceding 5 years, for the period of 5 years. If we are unable to show it, then if we are unable to show it only, then it is a violation of provision. But source is not required to be shown. That is very much clear. So we can give the answer in this way. This type of questions will come from accounting standards also. And this is the way how you will have to give the answer in accounting standard also. Maybe the teacher who has taught you has already made you clear that there also you have to do it. Okay. So it is very much clear for the period of 5 years, immediately preceding the date as at which the balance sheet is prepared, you will have to show the aggregate number of and class of shares allotted as fully paid up. Aggregate number of shares allotted as fully paid up without any payment of cash. Aggregate number of shares and class of share bought back. So these are the three important points which you have to keep it into your mind. So you may underline it. Also, you have to disclose if any securities convertible into equity or preference share issued along with the earliest date of conversion in descending order starting from the farthest such date. But ये आपको पढ़ना पड़ेगा बेटा, आप सारे लोग ये सब पढ़ के आओगे कल। ठीक है, आप सारा ही पढ़ोगे, मैंने आपको सिर्फ अंडरलाइन वो करवाया है जो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, जो मैं आपसे डिस्कस कर रहा हूँ। इसके अलावा जो भी आपको अच्छा लगे वो सब आपको अंडरलाइन कर लेना है। पढ़ना आपको सारा पड़ेगा। यू विल हैव टू स्टडी ईच एंड एवरी लाइन ऑफ दिस थ्योरी बिकॉज दिस इज वेरी मच इंपॉर्टेंट, दिस विल ऑटोमेटिकली गिव यू मार्क्स। नाउ what is the way how shareholding of promoters will be shown? That is a format given to you. Very good, sir. Capital reserve is a free reserve. No, no, capital reserve is not a free reserve, beta. But in case of bonus shares, it is allowed. Okay, for issuing fully paid up bonus shares. Actually, bonus shares is not a part of your syllabus. Let it be very much clear. Also, ESOPs is not a part of your syllabus. I have already discussed with your ICAI representatives that you people have given the question of ESOPs to the students. So they says we will do one thing. We will delete that from the module in future, but till now if it is there, there is no other option. We can just either leave it or we can do it at our own. So I have already discussed ESOPs with you yesterday, तो आपने ESOPs तो कर लिया था, थोड़ा सा मैंने करवा दिया था, तो बाकी कुछ नॉलेज आपको चाहिए भी है, सो ऑल दैट इज देयर। Bonus shares chapter, you should have to study to some extent. It will be beneficial because number of times ICAI gives such type of questions in the exam which is not covered in your syllabus also. So this type of things always comes. What is par value per share? Par value means for if shares face value is rupees 10, if shares face value is rupees 10 and it has been or 100, sorry, if face value is 100 and it has been issued at par value means for it has been issued at 100. Par value means for the value equivalent to the face value. Face value is equal to par value. Sir, shareholding of promoters, will it be shown in the notes to accounts? If it is given in detail, obviously this type of questions will come to you only in multiple choice questions. Okay, sorry, in short answer type questions. Okay. Now, mm, some important points further. Yes, page number 145. Very important point. Debit balance of statement of profit or loss account shall be shown as a negative figure under the head surplus. Similarly, the balance of reserve and surplus meaning is very simple, that if there is a loss in your profit or loss account, it will not be shown in the asset side. Instead, it will be deducted from the reserve and surplus. Even due to this deduction, reserve and surplus becomes negative. There is no problem. It is allowed. Like if we suffered a loss of rupees 100 crores, then where it will be shown? Under the head profit loss, we have suffered a loss of rupees 100 crore. Where it will be shown? Normally, we people assume that it will be shown under the head asset. No, it will not under the head. It will go under the surplus. You will have to deduct it from the, if it is a revenue loss, then obviously it will be deducted from the revenue profit. If it is revenue reserve available with us, revenue reserve is available with us, whatever it is, just assume 20 crore of revenue reserve is available with me. You have to deduct loss out of it, okay, of rupees 100 crore, and the resultant figure of 80 crore will be shown in the final column. That's it. So what is earmarked? Beta, I have already mentioned you people better study all the points. Okay. It is every definition, every knowledge is given in your module. Because if we'll go for very small points, then it will be difficult. I am trying to cover those points which are more important, which are important from practical point of view. Like this point is very important. See, you may get question for that also. See example number 2 of your financial statement. See example number 2 of your financial statement. It is on page number 14. Page number 14. Example number 2. He says management of loyal. Read the example number 2. No, this is not example number 2. Sorry. Yes. Example number 3 you may read. Read example number 3rd. Tell me, is that clear? Example number 3. Yes, Rahul, we are using accumulated profits to write off current year losses. That I am saying that you have to do. There's no problem. So see illustration number 3. He says the company has a accumulated loss of 250 lakhs. And shown it under the head assets in its balance sheet. Because normally we people do that thing. We are showing it in the asset side as a last heading, accumulated losses, but this is not allowed. See, answer is given according to part 1 of the schedule 3rd to the Companies Act. If any debit balance, whatever we have studied, same thing is mentioned here. जो मैंने बताया वही लिखा हुआ. So this is completely incorrect, whatever he has done. So the answer is in front of you. So treatment given by company is wrong. Exactly right, beta. You are saying right that treatment given by company is wrong. Company have to deduct it from reserve. So very good. Shabash. So this type of questions will come to you in your exam. For that, you people have to do this thing that you have to study it. अगर आप study नहीं करोगे तो how you will do that? Is that clear? चलो, coming back, going for the next important point. Yeah, page number 147. Now, here it has been made clear that in case of short-term borrowings, what will be covered under it? Loan payable on demand from banks and from other parties. If there is some loan which has been taken by us, and these are payable, these are refundable on demand. It means for it will be paid immediately within the period of 12 months. It may be paid anytime whenever they will demand it. Due to that reason, it is a short-term borrowing, not a long-term. Loan and advances from related parties, because related parties may demand amount anytime, and deposits are and other loans are also categorized under the head short-term borrowings. And then these are subdivided into secured and unsecured. Nature of security will also be disclosed. It is mandatory. If any guarantee loan have been granted by directors, the aggregate amount of such loan under each head shall be disclosed. This is also compulsory. Now, important point which is to be kept into mind. This will also come into exam, obviously. Period and amount of default on the balance sheet date in repayment of loan and interest shall be specifically specified separately. Means if any default is made by us, then obviously that will be a short-term borrowing. Current maturities of long-term borrowing shall be disclosed separately. Very important point. Like I have taken a loan from bank worth rupees. Loan from bank has been taken by me from bank 10 crores. This is my long-term borrowing. Now, what happened? We have to pay EMI on it every month. Now, whenever EMI is due, we pay it. But as on 31st of March 2023, two EMIs are pending worth rupees 20 lakhs. Now, outstanding amount of loan, outstanding loan amount is rupees 9.2 crores, 9.20 crore. Now, how it will be shown? Under long-term borrowings, you will have to show 9 crore beta. Under short-term borrowings, you will have to show 20 lakhs because this 20 lakh is already due to be paid and this 9 crore is not yet due. This is long-term borrowing, but this EMI is to be paid immediately. So this is a short-term borrowing. So this will be bifurcated into two parts. Like we have debentures worth rupees 100 crores. Now interest on debentures at the rate of 10%, 10 crore is due at the end of the year. So that interest on debenture is a short-term borrowing and this 100 crore amount, this 100 crore amount is a long-term borrowing. So this will be categorized as long-term and this will be categorized as short-term. Current maturities of long-term that I'm mentioning here. Clear hai? Surgery from bank's overdraft. Bank overdraft is automatically a current liability. So that is not required to be discussed here. You people have to understand this thing that those which are current liabilities in your previous classes that remain current liability here also. Those which are fixed asset in previous classes that remain fixed asset here also. Actually, you people has not done it in a proper way in the previous classes. Only then you will suffer problem in the here. Otherwise, same concepts are there, not too much different. Only the meaning should be clear to you. Once meaning will be clear to you, like those assets which are for more than 12 months are treated as fixed assets or non-current assets. Non-current asset we are calling them. And those which are encashable within a period of 12 months are current assets. That definition remains same here also. Just some more additions are made, some more adjustments are made, some more clarification is given, nothing else is there. While talking about current liabilities, it is very much clear those liabilities which are payable within the period of 12 months are named as current liabilities. Those which are not payable within the period of 12 months, more period is there or long-term borrowings are there. Those will not be covered under the head current liabilities. Those will be covered under the head non-current liabilities. So this is all simple. You need not to worry. What is share capital? What is reserve and surplus? All things are same beta. Just presentation way is there. Somewhere he has mentioned you that this is to be presented in this way. So we will have to do that only. Nothing tough. Everything is simple and easy to understand. Just try to understand, nothing else. Mhm. So one more important point is there. How to present the trade payables and trade receivables in the balance sheet. That is very much important. So this is a format given to you. And this format is very important. We must have to show our trade payables and trade receivables in the formats if details are given. If details are not given, then it is exempted. So if we have details, we have to show them that this much amount is due to be paid to MSME, this much amount is paid to others. Then disputed dues means where dispute is going on. And disputed must be shown separately in two ways, that is MSME and others. Okay. And it will be further defined as less than 1 year, which is outstanding for less than 1 year. Then 1 to 2 years and 2 to 3 years and more than 3 years. It is to be shown separately. And if due date is not there, because it has not been mentioned when the amount is to be paid, then it is to be shown separately here. If when no due date is of payment is specified, in that case, disclosure shall be from the date of transaction. We will assume due date is the date of transaction. In that case, due date will be assumed as the date of transaction when the transaction is made. Okay. Earlier, this was not there. This is the latest amendment made by the government of India. Bond is also long-term borrowing, beta. Principal amount loan is called long-term and interest and debenture called short-term. Exactly right. MSME, medium, small, micro, small and medium enterprises, beta. Micro means very small, medium and small. Sir ji, we will do studies. Very good. पढ़ना तो पड़ेगा बेटा, बाकी इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट वी आर डिस्कसिंग. गुड. बोर मत होना. ठीक है, बिकॉज दीज आर इंपॉर्टेंट, वी हैव टू डिस्कस दिस. Come to page number 158. 158. You have to read all the pages. I am just discussing those which are much more important. Otherwise, everything is important because question may come from anywhere. 158 page. Very important point is there which will be there in many questions. See, here it is. Amount of dividend proposed to be distributed to equity and preference shares for the period and related per share shall be disclosed separately. So if any amount is proposed that this will be the dividend which will be paid by us, then it will be shown separately. Now there is an important point on it. If dividend proposed after the date of balance sheet, obviously it will be done after the date of balance sheet. पहले तो हो ही नहीं सकता, because once we will earn the profit, we will calculate the profit, only then we will declare proposed dividend. So if dividend is proposed after the date of finalizing balance sheet, then it will be shown in notes and not adjusted in balance sheet. It is not allowed to be adjusted in balance sheet. Note it down with you. बड़ा ही important point है, very important point. In maximum question you will get this point. Unbilled dues means amount is we have a unbilled dues means we have taken services from somewhere, but they have not sent us the bill. So we know that amount is due to be paid, but yet bill is pending only. So this is obviously a short-term borrowing or a current liability. This will be covered under the head current liability. Under the head current liability, there are two heads. One is short-term borrowing, second is trade payables. So that we will define that if it is if it is related to our creditors, then it will be a trade payable. If it is not related to our creditors, business creditors or operational creditors, like from whom we are purchasing goods. So if we have goods received goods from the supplier, and yet he has not sent us the bill, in that case it is named as unbilled dues. Okay. Sir, if loan is taken for 5 years and last installment is due within 6 months, then in current year, whether is it long term or short term, obviously that part, whatever is due to be paid in this year, but actually not paid, but it is due to be paid, then it is a that amount is a current liability, remaining amount is a long term liability. बेटा. नो सर, बोर नहीं हो रहे, वेरी गुड, बोर नहीं होना चाहिए बिकॉज एग्जाम है भैया. अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड में भी तो आप बहुत बोर नहीं हुए होगे. अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड भी तो करे हैं आपने. सर, यू आर एक्सप्लेनिंग इन लेक्चर्स विद करंट चैप्टर, सो इट इज वेरी हेल्पफुल. थैंक यू. I have doubt regarding interim and final dividend adjustment. We will discuss it immediately now. Okay, if dividend is proposed after it, I think this is clear. Now, interim dividend is also given in the question. We will discuss that. Just wait for few minutes. An example that you have to do. चलो, do example number 2. फटाफट करो. Example number 2 कर लो. Fast. Send me the answer. क्या आएगा आंसर भी? लाइट नहीं, लाइट. So second example is very simple. Management of Loyal Limited intends that the work in progress is not valued since it is difficult to ascertain the same in the view of the multiple process involved. Their opinion. So there is a mistake. Their opinion that the value of opening and closing work in progress would be more or less the same. According, the management doesn't separately disclose work in progress in the financial statement. Tell me whether it is right or wrong. बताओ अभी. Comment in line with Schedule 3. Now what Schedule 3 says? You people study from your home and then tell me. Okay? मुझे तो पता है. I know it very well. Answer is very simple. It is very simple that we have to show only the change in work in progress in our profit or loss account. But how it is, how you will come to know, how you will give the answer, that you will study from the module. So you will get it from the annexure. Okay. Then Sumida took a loan from bank for rupees 10 lakh to be settled within 5 years in 10 equal half yearly installments with interest. First installment is due of rupees 1 lakh. Determine how the loan will be classified in preparation of financial. So you will tell them ki how much will be short term and how much will be long term. So that he has made you clear. Are ESOPs and sweat equity shares similar? No, no, both are different. Sweet equity shares and ESOPs are different. Study it properly. Sir, dividend in is declared in AGM. So how we will disclose in balance sheet? No, no. You people know it that AGM will be after the date of closing of your books of accounts. And from that, we have 60 days to finalize and file annual return. And simultaneously, we will have to file our many other income tax returns. For that also, the date is 30th of November. You know it, na? So there are many dates. So if we come to know, obviously dividend is proposed dividend is declared after 31st March. Hence, it will not be shown in the balance sheet. It will not be shown. Only it will be shown in the notes under the balance sheet. And we can write notes even after preparing balance sheet. You need not to worry because this will not be recorded in balance sheet. Notes means it will be given under a simple note, just like contingent liability. Okay. Sir, we have not disclosed profit and loss to answer the question. Not required to show. Exactly right, beta. We have not discussed profit or loss account to answer this question. Okay. If dividend declared at balance sheet date, then it will be shown or not. If dividend declared at balance sheet date, how it is possible? Because we doesn't know how that will be declared normally after the balance sheet date. So it will never come in the books of accounts. But there is an important point which has been asked by one student. We will discuss that. That is interim dividend and final dividend. That we will discuss. The company is violating schedule 3. Okay. Chalo. 1 lakh is short term and 9 lakh is long term. Very good answer by Anmol. Swinder, 1 lakh should be shown under the head current liabilities. 9 lakh. Very good. Shabash. So example number 4 is clear. Prince Limited presents its provision for contingencies under reserve and surplus in notes to accounts in its financial statements. Whether this presentation is correct? Provision for contingencies under reserve and surplus in notes to accounts in its financial statements. You will have to cover it according to AS 29. You know it very well what AS 29 says, है ना? AS 29 के बेस पर करेंगे. So AS 29 very well clears us that it will be covered under the head provisions, not under the head reserve and surplus. तो उसके लिए तो हमारे पास नीचे होता है. So provisions आपके पास नीचे दी होती है उसमें डालेंगे. So this is also wrong. I think you have covered many points. Now we will go for the practical questions of big questions, obviously after the break. So have a break for 10 minutes, then we will come back. Sir, have a current. तो बाकी सारे गलत बता रहे थे. वेरी गुड. गुड गुड अपर्णा. Here it is. 10 lakh to be settled within 5 years in 10 equal installments. So 1 lakh is the installment. First installment due on 30th September. Okay. Obviously, second installment we will due on 31st of March because after every 6 months installment will become due. So you people have done wrong. Many students have given the answer, but answer was wrong. Beta, if first installment is due on 30th September, obviously second installment will due on 31st of March 2012. So it means for up to 31st of March 2000. Determine how the loan will be classified in preparation of financial for the year ended. Okay. So this is a minor error in the question you may assume. Just a moment. देख लेते हैं. Installment due on 30th of September and 31st March will be shown under that short-term borrowing. Okay, very good. So these two installment will be shown under that short-term borrowings as current maturities. Okay. Therefore, in the balance sheet, as on 31st of March 2012, 8 lakh will be shown under the head long-term borrowings and 2 lakh will be shown under the heading short-term borrowing. So there's an error here. It should be 2012. Okay. Rectify it. देखो ना आपको उसने खुद ही क्लियर कर दिया कि वी हैव टू पे it in 6 monthly installments, and every installment is rupees 1 lakh. So there will be two installment which will due up to 31st of March 2012. Let it be very much clear. So 2 lakh will go under short term borrowing and 8 lakh will go under long term borrowing. Very good, Aparna. Shabash. Remaining students were saying wrong. Sir, break करें? Hello? So welcome back after the break, beta. Acha, we have already done many things, like we have covered many important aspects of our financial statements and many questions we have done. Which type of questions will come into your exam? Okay. So you should be confident enough that you have covered many things. You need not to worry. So I'm going to cover distributable profit now. This is given on page number 18 of your module. All are back na beta? Send your presence. All are back. आगे हो सारे के भी रास्ते में हो? फास्ट फास्ट. लेट्स स्टार्ट. डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेबल प्रॉफिट पढ़ो जो लोग आगे हैं. रीड डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेबल प्रॉफिट फास्ट पढ़ लो. आई वुड लाइक टू समराइज इट in a frequent way because these have some practical impacts of the question which we are going to do. ब्रेक खत्म हो गई है. आ जाओ फटाफट, आ जाओ वापस आ जाओ. वेरी गुड, वेरी गुड, वेरी गुड. आ जाओ भी, आ जाओ फटाफट आ जाओ. I received attendance of only few students yet. सैप्या, अमन, कदम्बरी, कोमल, अनमोल, दिव्या, संतोष. बाकी कहाँ है भाई? वेर इज रिमेनिंग? WRO, SRO, CRO, ERO, NRO. वेरी गुड. चलो. Distributable profit. What meant for the profit? Everyone knows that whatever net profit we earn from the profit or loss account, that is called distributable profit. The profit available for distribution as a dividend. So this is a routine thing. But here we have something different. In case of companies, we have to keep in mind that this have some important aspects, like earlier whatever we earn, that is for the owner of the company. Here whatever we earn, that is not only for the shareholders. Before that there are many conditions which is to be satisfied. So due to that reason, it is to be kept into mind that we have to do many things. Like if you are going to give dividend, also in that case preference dividend is to be declared first before giving equity dividend. This is also to be kept by you in your mind. Okay. So first of all, what is dividend? That should be clear to everyone, that whatever profit we are distributing to the shareholders, that is called dividend. So there's an important point that it may or may not entail a release of asset. Means it would be where a distribution involve payment of cash. Means we have to pay dividend only out of profits, not out of capital. Means if we will earn profit only, then we will give dividend. Okay, when profit are capitalized and the amount distributed is applied toward the payment of bonus share, issued free to the shareholder, no part of the asset of the company can be said to have been released, since in such a case profit are only capitalized. So in case of bonus shares, we are only capitalizing the profit by converting CRR or free reserves into bonus shares. Okay, so that he's saying. So while talking about dividend, let it be very much clear, term dividend include interim dividend also. So this is a point which has been asked by one student also. So dividend include interim dividend. What is interim dividend? Everyone knows. Dividend paid during the year out of the profits earned during the year. Means abhi 31st March has been gone, and in the first quarter we have earned some profit. So on that basis we have given dividend to the shareholders. That is called interim dividend. That is out of the interim profit, not out of the final profit. Okay. So this is also treated in the same way. This is a part of dividend. No dividend should be declared or paid by a company for any financial year except providing for depreciation. So depreciation must be provided for before declaration of dividend. Except out of the profits for any previous financial years arrived at after providing for depreciation according to the provision of that subsection and remain undistributed. So this is a simple thing that provision for depreciation must be entered. I'm not going everything in a technical way because otherwise you will be confused and you will be mixed in that. I am just taking it. आपने ना एक जनरल ओवरव्यू लेना है. You will have to take only general overview, not go into depth of anything, because if you will go into depth, in that case you will be confused, because we have to solve questions practically, not theoretically. So current year profit and previous year profits can be utilized for the purpose of declaration of dividend that it meant for, but those profits must be after depreciation. जो प्रॉफिट आपने यूज करना है डिविडेंड के लिए, तो वो कह रहा है वो करंट ईयर का प्रॉफिट हो सकता है या फिर वो पिछले सालों का प्रॉफिट हो सकता है, बट दोनों प्रॉफिट्स में एक कंडीशन है कि डेप्रिसिएशन के लिए प्रोविजन हो जानी चाहिए पहले. आई थिंक दिस इज क्लियर टू मैं ऑल ऑफ यू. In addition to that, if any amount is given to you by government, because government had given you the guarantee, given the guarantee to shareholders that this much amount of dividend must be given to you, and we are unable to pay, and government is coming into the picture and they are paying dividend on our behalf. In that case, also it will be allowed. But one thing is very much clear that capital reserve cannot be used for the purpose of declaration of dividend. Only revenue reserves or free reserves can be used. Because dividend meant for we are earning profits. Very good point. In case the company has incurred loss, in case the company has incurred loss, then dividend can be declared or not. In case the company has incurred loss during the current financial year, up to the end of the quarter immediately preceding the date of declaration of such it should not be declared at a rate higher than the average rate declared by the company. Obviously, company has not earned profit, company will not declare dividend. But if company is going to declare interim dividend, then whether it is allowed. So he says interim dividend will be as per the condition. What is the condition? Condition is interim dividend should not be declared at a rate higher than the average of previous 3 financial years. You will have to check what is the average rate of dividend declared during the previous 3 years. So if average is 10%, then company is not allowed to give more than 10% as an interim dividend also. Even dividend is not declared because there is no profit. Dividend cannot be declared except out of profit. Capital cannot be returned to the shareholder by way of dividend. Only out of the profits or free reserves. Okay. So I think these points are very much clear to you that अगर प्रॉफिट नहीं हो रहा तो डिविडेंड नहीं देना. अगर इंटरिम डिविडेंड देना चाहते हो आप, तो उस केस में आपको इंटरिम डिविडेंड कितना देना है, जितनी पिछले 3 सालों की एवरेज है उस एवरेज से कम देना है आपने. अगर आप लॉस के केस में देना चाहते हो तो पिछले रिजर्व्स को यूज कर सकते हो. अगर आपके पास रिजर्व्स पड़े हैं, फ्री रिजर्व्स पड़े हैं, तो उसको यूटिलाइज कर सकते हो. उसके लिए भी कंडीशन है. सी द कंडीशन. करंट ईयर में प्रॉफिट नहीं हुआ, ठीक है, तो डिविडेंड दे सकते हैं. वेदर वी कैन गिव डिविडेंड इफ देयर इज नो प्रॉफिट इन करंट ईयर. लेट्स सी. He says a company may declare dividend out of the accumulated profits earned by it in previous years. In that case, he will have to transfer to the reserve. How much is to be transferred? That you have to see. The rate of dividend in that case should not exceed the average of the rate at which dividend was declared in the previous 3 immediately preceding years. One condition, the total amount to be drawn from such profit should not exceed 1/10 of the sum of its paid up capital and free reserve. Second condition, first condition is there that it must not exceed the average of last 3 years dividend. Second condition, it cannot exceed 10% more, it cannot exceed 10% of paid up capital and free reserves. Paid up capital and free reserves. Okay. And third condition, before declaring any such dividend, you must have to write off all the losses, if any appearing in the balance sheet. The amount so drawn should first be utilized to set off the losses incurred in the financial year in which dividend is declared, before any dividend in respect of equity share is declared. So डिविडेंड देने से पहले आपको कोई लॉस जो हुए इस साल के वो राइट ऑफ करने हैं, उसके बाद ही आप उसको यूटिलाइज कर सकते हो. फोर्थ कंडीशन, the amount so drawn shall first be the balance of reserve after such withdrawal should not be less than 15% of its paid up capital. Means after utilizing amount for dividend, your reserves must not reduce 15% of the paid up. Means minimum आपको जो रिजर्व्स रखने हैं रिटेन करने हैं वो 15% ऑफ पेड अप कैपिटल के बराबर रिटेन करने हैं. ये कंडीशन भी देखनी पड़ेगी. सो वन कंडीशन इज दिस, सेकंड कंडीशन इज दिस, थर्ड कंडीशन इज दिस वन, balance of reserves shall not deplete 15% of the paid up capital. Okay. No company should declare dividend unless carried over previous losses and depreciation not provided in the previous year. If any previous losses are there, current year losses are to be written off, previous year losses are to be written off, previous year depreciation, if any, in the books of accounts is also to be written off. Okay. Yeah. This is a very important point. You may underline it. Final dividend will not be recognized as a liability even if it is declared after reporting date, but before approval of the financial statement as per accounting standard. I have already mentioned you कि proposed dividend cannot be shown in the books of accounts in balance sheet, it will be shown in the notes. Also, one more thing which is very important from dividend point of view, before giving dividend to preference equity shareholders, must give dividend to preference shareholders. Okay, because they have the excess special right. Also, if any calls paid in advance is there, then they will not be given any dividend. Dividend cannot be given on calls in advance, forfeited shares. Many other things are there which you have to keep in mind. Let's do illustration number 1, beta. सर ये चैप्टर किस तरह से प्रिपेयर करना है मैं करवा रहा हूँ बेटा. आई हैव ऑलरेडी prepared it for you. देखो ना आपको कैसे करवा रहा हूँ. You must have to go for theory, you must have to go for practicals, everything. Exam will come from practical point of view, from application point of view, not from theory point of view. Let it be very much clear. No question will be from pure theory point of view. The questions will come from application point of view. Whatever point is applicable and important from practical point of view will be done. Like what is dividend, that will not come to you. What is reserve and surplus, that will not come to you. But how proposed dividend will be treated, that is the point which will come to you. How losses are to be adjusted, that will come, the point come to you, because he will come with the case study. Normally case studies will come to you, or if he will come to the with the MCQs, then it will be from practical point of view. I'm in a national chess tournament at Odisha. I lost the first match. Hope for lost the first match. Hope for rest match. All the best, beta. I'm also losses are also adjusted or not, sir, in case of interim dividend. No, in case of interim dividend, this is not a condition, beta. Average of 3 years dividend declared in case of interim dividend. Exactly in both cases. If there is a loss, then either you are going to give final dividend out of previous year's profit, or you are going interim dividend is given out of the profit of the current period. It is not given out of the profit of the previous years. It is not allowed. So when we are discussing about interim dividend, we are discussing that if we have earned profit in the current quarter or the current 6 months, then we are going to give dividend. But if we have suffered loss during the, like the company suffered a loss as on 31st of March 2023, so final dividend cannot be declared by the company according to our opinion. But what happened from 1st April 2023 to 30th September? During these 2 quarters, company earned profits. Now, company is allowed to go for interim dividend. There's no problem. Out of the profit earned during this 6 months only, interim dividend is not allowed to be given out of the previous year profits. Let it be very much clear. One thing is clear to everyone. How it is calculated? It will be maximum up to the dividend, average of dividend of the previous 3 years. Okay. Now, as on 31st of March 2023, we have suffered loss. Now, company have sufficient free reserves available with it. The company is interested to give final dividend for 22-23. Now, for that, there are different conditions. First condition is, what is the first condition? First condition is, revise it. Here it is given to you. Yes, tell me. Notes is not in my module. तो करें बेकार, प्रॉफिट डिक्लेयर किया तो उससे कैसे टैकल करेंगे? बेटा वो जब सीए कर लोगे तब आना, फिर बताएंगे। ठीक है? दैट डिविडेंड विल बी नल एंड वाइड, वो डिविडेंड अलाउड ही नहीं होगा। इज नॉट मेंशन इन स्टडी मटेरियल। Sir, that note part related to dividend is not mentioned in study material. I've already mentioned you, beta. Okay. This is the latest module which I have downloaded. It is given in this. Sir, will you have, you also cover unit 2 of chapter 11? Yes, beta. प्रैक्टिकल क्वेश्चंस के प्रैक्टिस करने के लिए कोई बुक सजेस्ट कर दो। बेटा करेंगे, अभी इसी को तो कर लो। देर आर सफिशिएंट क्वेश्चंस, approximately 12 or 13 questions are with us. We have to do all these questions. Then we will think. Not exceed of average of last 3 years dividend. Exactly right. So first point, everyone knows. Yes, very good. That is average of, average rate of dividend, final dividend I'm talking about, of last 3 years. Second point, after dividend, after declaring dividend, your reserves must be 15% of paid up capital. Must not be less than 15% of paid up capital. Okay. Hmm. Paid up share capital. Okay. Third point, maximum dividend is equal to 10% or 1/10 of paid up capital and free reserves. Now do illustration number one. Hmm. This type of question come with 10 marks. Due to inadequacy of profit during the year, proposes to declare 10% dividend out of general reserve. So it means for we are going to declare dividend out of general reserve. That is accumulated profits, not from the current year profit. Ascertain the amount that can be utilized from general reserve. How much amount we can utilize, that we have to check. 17,500 9% preference shares are there, 8 lakh equity shares are there, general reserve is there, capital reserve is there, revaluation reserve, net profit is there. Average rate of dividend during the last 3 years have been 12%. Now what company is interested to do? Company is interested to give dividend. So for that sake, it is very much clear that the rate of dividend cannot exceed 12%. So the first point which you have to keep in mind, that dividend rate cannot exceed 12%. How much dividend they are interested to declare? They are interested to declare 10% dividend. So 10% or 12%, whichever is lower. So first condition is very well satisfied, that 10% is lower than average rate of dividend of 12%. So 10% can be easily declared. Condition number two. Condition number two is very well clear to us, that 10% of paid up capital plus free reserves can be utilized. So see here it is. What is paid up capital and free reserve? Check it out. We have not suffered loss, but instead we have less profits available with us, because we have only 3 lakh available with us as a profit. So we are interested to utilize this 25 lakh for the purpose of declaration of dividend. So whether this can be utilized or not, that he is discussing with you. Okay. Now we have general reserve of rupees 25 lakh. We have net profit of rupees 3 lakh. Now tell me one thing, whenever dividend is to be declared, who will be preferred to get dividend? Preference shares. So first of all, dividend will be given to preference shares. How much dividend they will be paid? Get the amount fast. Which amount of dividend is reduced from reserves? We'll discuss, don't worry. First of all, you will have to tell me how much dividend will be given to preference shares. Fast. 9% of 17 lakh 50,000. Get it how much it is? Fast bit. Beta, Amar Gond has asked a question. If there is a loss, whether company can declare interim dividend? No, it is not possible. First of all, let you understand what is final dividend, what is interim dividend. Interim dividend is the dividend out of the profit earned during the current year. This will not come into your exams because this is not a practical question. Let it be very much clear. 90% chances are there, because no such question I have seen till date. Interim dividend is the dividend which you have earned the profit during the year. अब मैंने पिछले 6 सालों में 6 मंथ्स में जो प्रॉफिट कमाया उसमें से डिविडेंड दे रहा हूँ. ये कोई लास्ट ईयर्स के प्रॉफिट में से डिविडेंड नहीं दे रहा, करंट ईयर के प्रॉफिट, ये तो मैं जो कमा रहा हूँ करंटली उसमें से, तभी तो इसका नाम इंटरिम डिविडेंड होता है. इसको आप मिक्सअप मत करो फाइनल डिविडेंड के साथ. ओके. अभी हम लोग फाइनल डिविडेंड की बात कर रहे हैं. जस्ट डिस्कस अबाउट द फाइनल डिविडेंड. ओके. 1,57,500 विल बी पेड एज ए डिविडेंड टू द preference shareholders. So this profit of rupees 3 lakh available with us will be utilized against preference dividend, because this must be given. Okay. Simultaneously, how much reserve can be utilized? We know it very well. That we will see. चलो बाद में देखते हैं. अभी आप देखो how much dividend, how much amount is available with us? 3 lakh minus 1,57,500. We have 1,42,500 available with us. Okay. 1,42,500 रुपए है हमारे पास. So how much maximum amount that can be withdrawn? चलो इसको इधर कर लेते हैं, ज़्यादा इजी रहेगा. फर्स्ट कंडीशन 10% or 12%. So it will be 10%. Second condition, 10% of paid up capital and free reserves. Okay. So 10% of how much is the paid up capital? See, your paid up capital is 17 lakh 50, 80 lakh plus 25 lakh plus out of 3 lakh, 1 lakh 57,500 is utilized. So how much is left? 1 lakh 42,500. So these will be added. 17 lakh 50,000 plus 80 lakh plus 25 lakhs plus 1 lakh 42,500, because that is also free reserve. So how much is the amount? 80 lakh plus 17 lakh 50,000 plus 'चलो, yeah, in free reserves he has not taken it. चलो, doesn't matter. इससे कोई ज्यादा फर्क नहीं पड़ने वाला. It may be taken, it may or may not be taken because this is also a free reserve because this is available with us. But चलो, उन्होंने नहीं लिया तो you may also leave it. It is not a big issue. We may take it. 10% of, get the amount, how much it is? It is 12 lakh 25,000. Okay. So it is 1 lakh 22,500. This is the maximum amount of dividend which can be declared. Now, third condition is after declaring dividend, reserves must not be less than, reserve means whatever the reserve is available with us. Now, how much dividend is to be declared? That we are not going to calculate. We are going to calculate how much amount is available with us. So, see, we have 25 lakhs available with us. So, 15% of paid up capital, beta. So, 15% of 17 lakh 50,000 plus 8 lakh. 14 lakh 62,500. This is the minimum reserves to be retained. This is the minimum amount of reserve to be retained, जो हमें reserves को रखना है कम से कम. So actual reserves are 25 lakhs minus minimum to be retained. So how much you can utilize? 10 lakh 37,500. So this is the maximum amount of withdrawal we can make. Maximum reserve to be utilized. How much we need? हमें चाहिए कितना? Now see how much is required. Our requirement. Our requirement is 10% of 80 lakhs. This is 8 lakhs. Okay. Minus out of current year profit. So current year profit is 1,42,500, which is available with us after giving dividend to preference shares. So we need 6,57,500 requirement of reserves. 657,500. So how much it allows? मुझे लगता है यहाँ मिस्टेक है, यहाँ पर 3 जीरोस आए, यहाँ पर कोई अमाउंट का फर्क आएगा। Because 10% off, we have to do 1,22,50,000. Okay. So it will be 12,25,000, which is allowed. So condition number 2 allows 12,25,000. Condition number 3 allows us 10,37,500. How much we requires? We requires only 6,57,500. So it is fully allowed. So 10% dividend will be given to the shareholders. So it is fully allowed because we need only 6,57,500. So this is 12,25,000. This is 10,37,500. Any amount we can withdraw. Very good. So Sheil, we have to give preference dividend first. Only then equity dividend will be given. Due to that reason, 3 lakh rupees is available with us as current year profit. That is utilized for the purpose of giving preference dividend first बेटा. पहले preference dividend देंगे, एक बार हिंदी में समझा देता हूँ आप सभी को. Let's understand in हिंदी once again. देखो फर्स्ट कंडीशन तो बड़ी सिंपल है कि जो हमें करंट ईयर का डिविडेंड रेट है वो पिछले 3 सालों की एवरेज से कम लेना है, मतलब उसके बराबर या उससे कम लेना है। तो वो पिछले 3 इयर्स की जो एवरेज है वो हमारी 12% है। तो 12% और 10% विच एवर इज लोअर, तो इसीलिए 10% जो लोअर अमाउंट है वो हमने ले ली। सो 10% अगर हम लोग डिक्लेयर करना चाहते हैं डिविडेंड, तो उसके लिए 10% देने के लिए हाउ मच इज रिक्वायर्ड टू अस, हमें चाहिए 8 लाख में से 1,42,500 हमारे पास करंट ईयर के प्रॉफिट में से है, बाकी 6,57,500 चाहिए। बिकॉज अगर हम लोग 3 लाख रुपीज जो हमारे पास प्रॉफिट है उसमें से प्रेफरेंस शेयर्स का डिविडेंड पे कर देते हैं, तो हमारे पास 1,42,500 बच जाता है उसमें से। तो ये हम लोग जो है करंट ईयर के प्रॉफिट को यूटिलाइज करेंगे सबसे पहले डिविडेंड देने के लिए। बैलेंस हमें रिजर्व में से कितना निकालना है? रिजर्व में से हमें सिर्फ निकालना है 6,57,500। इसको निकालने के लिए पहली कंडीशन क्या है? 10% ऑफ या 1/10, कुछ भी आप कह सकते हो। 10% और 1/10 ऑफ पेड अप कैपिटल एंड फ्री रिजर्व, ये आपकी पेड अप कैपिटल है, ये फ्री रिजर्व है, दोनों को ऐड किया, इसका 10% निकाला। 1225 मैक्सिमम अमाउंट अलाउड है। दूसरा क्या है कि जब अमाउंट निकाल लोगे उसके बाद मिनिमम बचना कितना चाहिए। अब निकालना क्या वो नहीं बताया उसने, उसने कहा जो निकालने के बाद बचेगा क्या। तो हमने निकालने के बाद देखा कि 15% ऑफ पेड अप कैपिटल के बराबर मीन्स 14,62,500 बचना चाहिए। तो निकाल कितना सकते हैं? टोटल 25 है, उसमें से इतना तो रखना है, रिटेन करना है, मिनिमम होना चाहिए। तो बाकी बैलेंस आप निकाल सकते हो। तो कितना निकाल सकते हो? 10,37,500। बट हमें कितना चाहिए? ये कह रहा है कि 1225 निकाल सकते हो, मुझे तो 657 चाहिए। इसने ओके कर दिया, इसने परमिशन दे दी, इसने हरी झंडी दे दी। इसके पास गए, ये कहता मेरी भी हरी झंडी है, क्योंकि मैं कहता हूँ 1037 निकाल लो, हमें तो 657 चाहिए। ओके डन। तो इसका मतलब मैं आराम से 10% डिविडेंड डिक्लेयर कर सकता हूँ। पार्थ, योर क्वेश्चन इज नॉट क्लियर बेटा, वट यू आर इंटरेस्टेड टू नो? Sir, beta dividend, meaning of dividend include interim dividend also, final dividend also. There is no problem at all. But what is interim dividend, that I made you clear. You should have to improve your basics, beta. This is all a general meaning. It's a general knowledge. What is interim and what is final dividend? We are discussing about final dividend yet. Interim dividend is a different case. That is a different point. That is just a theoretical point. That is not practically applicable. Okay. Revaluation reserve. Revaluation reserve is not a free reserve. It cannot be utilized. Okay. It will not be taken in calculation, beta. Sir, current year profit preference dividend is not transferred to reserve. That is why not taking the amount, right. Okay. Sir, can you explain from requirement again? समझ गए सर, आ गया. Now tell me if there is any doubt. बेटा एक बार बताओ सारे. किसी को कोई डाउट है तो आप दोबारा लिख के भेजो. If there is any doubt, please tell me once again because I think everyone is clear on these points. एक बार बताना दोबारा से कोई डाउट है तो. बड़ा इजी क्वेश्चन था. It was really a simple question. Normally, this type of question comes into the exam and gives us easily 6 to 10 marks. How many types are reserves? How many types are reserve? There are two types of reserve. One is capital reserve, second is revenue reserves, beta. Revenue reserves are free reserves, and capital reserve is those reserves which are not allowed to be utilized for the purpose of declaration of dividend. Okay. Baki, you will easily understand reserves also when you will read the theory part. Okay. No doubt, no doubt. Yes, sir. Sir, time left. I want lecture. Sir, I was asking for interim dividend whether if adequate profits are not available, then with this condition, it can be distributed. If adequate profits are not available, then interim dividend cannot be given out of the profit of the previous years. Okay. Interim dividend is not allowed to be given out of the reserves. Only final dividend, for the purpose of final dividend, we can utilize previous reserves, but not for interim dividend. Okay. Very good, Parth. Clear. Very good. Anyone else having any doubt? Let's discuss the adjustment part because profit and loss account balance sheet is very easy. That is not tough. Once you will understand the concept, just discuss the points which are very important. He is giving you what is the authorized share capital. So this will be just a presentation point. You will have to present it whenever you will prepare balance sheet. You will have a share capital head with you. For that share capital head, you will have to show only authorized share capital. This is for showing only. It will not be added or deducted from the balance sheet. It will be just shown. Company on the advice of independent value wish to revalue the land at 3,60,000. There is no worry. If there, whenever land is revalued, in the balance sheet, land will increase and simultaneously revaluation reserve will go into under the head reserve and surplus. Automatically revaluation reserve will also increase. Security premium is just like security premium is utilized for the purpose of you may say uh, writing of premium on redemption of share or a premium on a buyback, but it is not treated directly as a free reserve. It should be clear to you. हमने पिछले क्वेश्चन में बायबैक में किया था बेटा. Security premium is not a part of free reserve. Let it be very much clear. Okay. Declare final dividend at 10% on 2%. This will be shown under the head notes only. Okay. Suspense account of rupees 4,000 represent cash receipt from the sale of some machinery. The cost of machinery was 10,000 and the accumulated depreciation there on 8,000. He says there was a machinery whose value was rupees 10,000. Cost is 10,000. minus accumulated depreciation. This is 8,000. So its written down value is 2,000. He says it has been sold for rupees 4,000 and that is shown in the trial balance. Okay. So there's a profit of rupees 2,000. So this profit will go to profit or loss account, and machinery will reduce by 2,000. Machinery will reduce by 2,000 and this will be automatically closed. Okay. So this will be the impact. There are two impacts of that 4,000 rupees shown in the trial balance. See, suspense account is given to you in trial balance. This suspense account will be finished. It will be divided into two parts, 2, 2. 2 reduced from machinery. Yeah. What will happen? We have to do like this. From the machinery, we will reduce 10 because this is cost. So cost will be reduced from cost. And provision for depreciation is 172. It will be reduced by 8. So it will be shown 164 in the balance sheet. Okay. And this suspense account will be over. This will not come into the picture. Whether this is loss in revaluation of assets, can it reduce from revaluation reserve? Exactly right, beta. Harish Chandra, you should have to do AS10, beta. You have not done AS10, accounting for fixed assets. Do it. Then you will be clear on these points. Okay. So what you will do now, from machinery, you will reduce 10,000. You from provision for depreciation, you will reduce 8,000. Suspense account will be finished and profit will be shown in profit or loss account 2,000. So this will be the impact of this adjustment. Mm. Depreciation is to be provided on plant and machinery at 10% on cost. So see, we have to calculate how much is the depreciation. Get it? Get fast. How much will be the amount of depreciation? You will have to calculate and send me the answer fast. So see, हाउ मच इट इज, क्लोज ही कर देना। 770, 770 is the cost, minus 10,000, 760. Depreciation is 10%. Any other adjustment is there? See, any other adjustment is there regarding machinery? No, there is no adjustment. So it was very simple. I was just checking your knowledge, your basics. It is as simple as that. It is 76 beta. That's it. So this is the amount of depreciation which you have to charge. Okay. So I think you people may easily start the questions, read all the theoretical part in a proper way, because this is important in this chapter. Otherwise, I'm not telling always that you will have to do theory, but in this case you must have to read theory, so that you should have to understand concepts. Go only overview. Any important point is there, you must have to note it down. Otherwise, from practical point of view, whatever is important normally I have already covered, but you have to go through it, so that if any new point will come to you, you will have to do it. There may be a chance that there may not be any doubt tomorrow out of the theory. You people may easily study it, try to clear your points yourself. From practical point of view, you may solve the questions, because this is the illustration number one which you have done, illustration number two we have done. Now you may do some questions at your home. This is a simple performa where these amounts are entered. You may see how the solution is done. It can be easily done by you also. Okay. Illustration number three you may do, and you will have to do a few test your knowledge questions at your own. See that you can do it. काफी अच्छे क्वेश्चंस हैं इसमें जो आप कर सकते हो, इजीली कर सकते हो. ये टेस्ट योर नॉलेज में 1 to 10 questions you have to do. You may do 1 to 7 or 1 to 8 at your own. Remaining we will do tomorrow. Okay. 1 to 6, 1 to 7, 1 to 8, whatever you can do as much as possible. Okay. So try to do as much as possible. We will cover remaining questions tomorrow. Okay then. सर क्लोज कर दीजिए.